Evening everyone, I'm John Potter. I'm the admin on the Joseph Parker vs Anthony Joshua Day of Destiny boxing page. Bear with me, it's only my second video, so I'll just bang through it as quick as I can. It's quite a lot to talk about, and I'm sensing a lot of frustration starting to come through. People are starting to get pissed off with this whole boxing caper. So I thought I'd just discuss what started last week, where we had Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko, possibility of chance of a fight happening. That became very probable. Then we had to wait for Tyson Fury to vacate or get his belts taken off him, which happened. He lost all three of his belts, as we know. Moving on, we had Joseph Parker and Ruiz talking it up. Potential dates, the few problems stated, such as the actual date, given that Parker's camp wanted to fight in December and Ruiz's camp wanted to fight in the holiday period, which did not suit Duco. But it also did not suit Ruiz in regards to his trainer being the same trainer of Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, who has a big fight at the same time. So that's a shared trainer. But what I've discovered is that Ruiz should just move to that trainer, so it's actually not vital for his preparation, really. Although I don't know if he has another team behind him because he left his other team. But that seems to be the only question on that fight is, A, the belt is available, yes now, and B, the training schedule or the trainer availability of Ruiz. I've heard another date since mentioned, which is December the 27th, which Ruiz himself mentioned on a post earlier in the week on this page as well. However, once we were getting all excited about that, along comes the WBO and puts out this 4-fighter elimination format, which just got things off on a bad foot, really, for the fans of Joseph Parker. Getting all excited and then getting this spanner thrown in there was just more bullshit. But yeah, so that's a possibility, and they're having a meeting this week to discuss that. We also have the possibility that Klitschko and Joshua will fight not only for the IBF belt, but also for the other two belts that Tyson Fury vacated, which is the WBO, and I think it's the WBA. And I've heard something about an IBO, which I've never really heard of before. But it's ridiculous, really. So, where was I? Yep, so it turns out, now I've seen a story today, just now, really, that Klitschko and Joshua now actually may not go ahead, because it's only going to be for the one belt. So at the moment, absolutely everything is up in the air. So now we've stated where we were pretty much at in terms of where the fights are. Nothing is made, nothing is guaranteed, no dates, nothing on any of these heavyweight championship fights. Now I'm going to look at what actually happens if Vladimir does not fight Joshua. So what I'll do first is I'll have a look at who Joshua might fight, because it's just simply a case of IBF. So if we go and look at the boxing rankings, in the IBF we have Joshua Holder. Number one mandatory is Joseph Parker. Kubrat Pulev, who's actually taken himself out of the equation a wee while ago, I think. At number 3, Parker, Pulev. Then we have David Haye, amazingly, at number 4 in the IBF. So it's number 3 rather. So there's actually a chance that Anthony Joshua could fight David Haye, which really is huge. Huge fight. So that's incredible in itself. I won't go into who would win the fights or anything like that. I'll just make you aware of all the situations. Number 4 next on the list is a fighter who's won the European title. He beat Hellenius, I think it was. Duhapis, I think he's a holder. So he's next, and then we've got Ruiz again. So if Ruiz is fighting Parker, forget Ruiz. So then we've got Haye, Duhapis, that are probably potentially available, Ruiz. And then this is the kicker, and this is one which I think will be actually really good, and will be a perfect build-up to Parker versus Joshua. Number 6 is Carlos Takam. So that would just be a fantastic fight, and we'll be able to see if Joshua can back up all his talk about how he would have knocked out Takam, which you can't say shit like that. He doesn't know that. And Takam is very, very durable, as we know. To knock him out, you've actually got to knock him out. Now, I wouldn't say that he can't do it, but he's going to get hit back, Joshua, and that's something he hasn't experienced. So that, to me, is Haye, Duhapis, or Takam is now the potential fights for Joshua. So that's the IBF. I'll leave the WBO to last because that's Joseph Parker. Won't worry about the WBC because we've got Povetkin and Stavern have got a fight lined up in December, and the winner of that, Povetkin's one of my favourite fighters. No doubt about it, he'll win that. And then once again he goes back to Povetkin Wilder, and that's a really, really, really good fight. I like Deontay Wilder now simply because of that knockout of Spilker when he hit the one punch power that he had. He's got like little shot puts on the ends of his arms. He's like hitting you with little shot puts, and that's how I look at him as a fighter. He can be hit, but his hands are like, the hands of stone, and he showed that when he knocked out Spilker clean as. So moving on to the WBA, and this is interesting as well because we have number 1 ranked now out of nowhere. These rankings just change. Luis Ortiz is number 1, and number 2 is Klitschko. So that's a potential Ortiz-Klitschko clash, and that would be dynamite as well. So if we say this potentially could happen, I mean, I don't know what belt suits Klitschko more, the WBA or the WBO, which seem to be the two that he's the highest ranked. So moving on from that, then we've got Ustinov, who had a fight lined up with Ortiz a while ago and disappeared. A guy called Fraser Quindo, I don't know much about. And then we've got Lucas Brown, who, as we know, had an interim belt, which God knows what that is. He lost that when he fought Glazkov, I think it was. Chagayev, who I believe has actually since retired due to an eye injury, so we won't be hearing any more from him. So Lucas Brown could fight Ortiz, and then there's David Haye again, and then there's Shannon Briggs, and there's a Jarrell Miller in the mix as well. So all these names are popping up. So WBA is Ortiz, Klitschko, Ustinov, forget him, Aquendo, who never heard of him beating anybody, Lucas Brown. Now that'd be good. Ortiz, Lucas Brown, that would be good. Lucas Brown, who Dillian White refers to as the tattooed penis. Gotta love Dylan White. He's not wrong. So that's the WBA. So now I'll just move to the WBO, which is Joseph Parker. Now, if Joseph Parker obviously doesn't take this WBO option, then it simplifies the IBF, because then it just simply becomes Parker, potentially Joshua next, or Parker fights whoever Joshua fights next, which could be Haye, as I've already said, could be Duhapis, could be Takam. He could fight Takam again for the IBF title, which would be incredible in itself yet again. Right, WBO. Number 1, Joseph Parker. Number 2, Klitschko. So Parker, Klitschko is possible. Number 3, Ruiz. So Klitschko comes in ahead of Ruiz. So if Klitschko does not go for the WBA, then he potentially fights Parker for the WBO. Ruiz, and there again, David Haye. So David Haye is ranked in the top 6 in 3 organisations. So the chances of him getting a heavyweight title fight soon are big. And then here we first mentioned Hughie Fury. Then a guy you've never heard of, Wallisch, I think he's from Germany or somewhere around there. Jarrell Miller, Edmund Gerber from Germany or around there, Schwartz from Germany. Pulev, forget him, he just seems to... God, I think there's David Price and there's Izu, Igonu. So the WBO is a whole lot of guys that have never really done anything. All up-and-comers pretty much, except for Klitschko and Haye. All the rest of them, including Parker, are all guys on the way up with unbeaten records. Or good records against weak opposition. So, Parker Klitschko or Parker Ruiz, and if Parker doesn't take the WBO, it goes to IBF, it's Parker versus Joshua or whoever Joshua beats. So I think, just hope that clears things up where it's at right as we speak. Like we now know, and I've already said, all the belts are available to be fought for in terms of WBA and WBO, and as we know, Joshua's got IBF and Wilder's got WBC. And it just comes down to the WBO deciding on that 4-man tournament, if they're going to do that, and if not, whether the WBO title was up for grabs in the Joshua Klitschko fight, and if it's not, then it becomes Joseph Parker versus who. And regards to WBA, it's Ortiz versus Klitschko or not. So Ortiz is going to fight someone, probably Brown, wouldn't surprise me. So hopefully that's cleared up where that's at, and 24 hours from now it'll probably be completely changed. But you can see the frustration in boxing, and they need to start making some fights, some big fights, and thanks to Klitschko losing to Fury, and thanks to Fury really, they all could start happening, these big fights, and be a bit of a shootout. And it'll be interesting to see who comes out with the belt or belts. As I read somewhere earlier today, I don't think having a belt really now means a lot. It's just like winning a Grand Slam in golf, a major in golf rather. You've won one leg of the Grand Slam. To be considered now as a true champion, to me, you've got to hold at least 3 of these belts. So until you've got 3 of these belts, you're not actually world champion. Yeah, and I think most people would actually agree with that now, because just having a belt, look at Wilder, who did he beat? He beat Stavern, and that's all he beat to win his title. Well, who's Stavern? He didn't beat anybody. So really, that's a joke title. You got Joshua, who's beaten nobody. That's another joke. And then you got Tyson Fury. It's 2 vacated belts who he legitimately won, but he only really beat one. You know, he beat Klitschko. It could have been a bad performance or whatever. So really, he hasn't really done anything either, although he's got a decent resume in his last few fights. I think he beat Chisora a couple of times. Yeah, so that's where it's at, and I'll keep the site updated so everyone knows what's going on, and hopefully we'll start getting something concrete really soon, and we can really start getting into this boxing, because it really, as I said earlier, it's becoming a freaking joke. So let's get it on!